imagine that I made this cute little cubby hole thing for me to have some kind of a backdrop for my videos. And I know it isn't perfect. I can see that. There is a gap here, and a gap here, and a gap there. But I ran out of paint. No one's perfect. I tried. Anyway, I got these cute little lights. I painted a little cubby hole in my living room to use, and I haven't made a video yet, okay? And this has been like this for 3 weeks is what I'm gonna go. I don't know, I have no concept of time. Anyway, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going back to my original point of my YouTube channel. I know I diverted a little bit, didn't really know what I was gonna do, and I was talking about a bit of this and a little bit of that and a bit of this and blah 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 blah. But I have a whole bunch of video ideas and things that I want to talk about relating to well-being, relating to mental health, relating to well-being. I don't know. I just have a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about, and today I'm going to begin. So I want to talk about scars. Yes. I'm going to talk about big, horrible, scary scars that come from self-harm. Don't tell anybody, because people don't do that. No, I'm joking, okay? People hurt themselves and it leaves a mark, right? I want to talk about scars in general and how you should, first of all, how I feel about them and how other people should handle them, because oh my goodness, the amount of looks I get when I'm out is something else. So let me just rewind a little bit, okay? For those of you who don't know, I do think I've spoken about it before in my videos. It's definitely not a secret. I am a long-term self-harmer. And actually, why am I pretending like I haven't spoken about this before? Just remembered I did a whole series where I was ill and there was stuff on my face. Anyway, I am somebody who has literally hundreds of scars, okay? I'm not joking. I have my by the way, trigger warning, sorry, forgot about that. I am going to be talking a lot about self-harm in this video. Probably should have put that at the beginning. For anybody who is going to get, there's a hair. Is it on my mouth? Bleh. For anybody who might get upset or triggered by me talking about self-harm and talking about scars, fresh wounds, old wounds, whatever, maybe just consider that before continuing with my video, because I'm not looking to upset anyone, but y'all know what I'm like, okay? I don't keep anything under wraps. We need to be open about this stuff because it is a part of the world we live in, or at least the world that I live in, and many people that I know, the world that they live in as well. And we're not about hiding ourselves, are we? We're about educating and awareness and understanding. So with that being said, let me continue. I have loads of scars, okay? From many different ways. I'm sure that it's quite common for people to self-harm in many different ways, and I do, but obviously some of those are much more visible than others and much more obvious than others. So I'm going to go, and I am going to be naming things, so just reminder, disclaimer, I'm going to be specifically referencing my scars are from cuts, okay? They are all down my legs on both of them. Thank you, Xbox. I also have some up here on my arm, and some lower down that you can't really see, but basically the ones on my legs are risen. These are called keloid scars, and they are more common on the lower part of your body, and they also are more common in people who are non-white. I don't know why, but they're more common in darker skinned people, and obviously I'm mixed race, so maybe that's something to do with it, part of the genetics, what do I know. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because the weather's getting warmer, it's nice, the sun is shining, and this year is a lot worse than last year in terms of what I have on show, because I have a lot more this time than I did this time last year. That makes sense. Damn. I'm getting hot, but I don't want to take this off because I'm actually wearing pajamas and it's late at night, and after this I'm going to go to bed. So I'm just going to sit here and sweat it out. So if my face gets shiny, please ignore. Anyway, when I went out the other day, I had shorts on. Obviously, my scars were on show. And as you do, walking around, it's busy, kind of shops are open, people are allowed out, and there's just a lot of people everywhere you go. And I went to town to go and buy some vegan toothpaste. It's to the point where I actually made a game with my partner, and we were counting how many people we saw do the look. Many of you will know what I'm on about when I say the look. That kind of thing. It's not always in a shitty way, but it is sometimes in a shitty way. So I just wanted to address it because I think that there is a way to go about this. First of all, it's totally normal to look at things. People naturally, as human beings, we look at things that are different. We look at things that we don't necessarily understand. We look at things certainly that we're not exposed to every day. So for me, you know, it is not a big deal if I see scars, obviously on myself, I see them every day. And if I see them on other people, again, it's not a big deal because it's just something that I've been around both professionally and personally. The amount of people that give you a very obvious look and then kind of keep on glaring. I am not a self-conscious person, but for once I was starting to feel a little bit self-conscious about it, and I was starting to think, you know, maybe I should cover up, which is ridiculous. I shouldn't cover up. It's me, and I am not going to hide myself to please somebody else. It was the first time that kind of entered my mind, and I felt a little bit aware. I was very conscious of it. I kind of just wanted to briefly speak about this today, even though I've already rambled on. And say that if you do see somebody with scars, it's okay to look, I guess, you know, it's natural, as I say, but try and do it in a way that you're not then glaring at the person. Because I get a lot of looks that is kind of to my face, down to my legs, and then back up to me in a kind of puzzled thing, or it's kind of hard to tell with a mask as well because you're literally just kind of getting this. But just be aware that if you are going to do that, that clearly that comes from some kind of trauma. It comes from something that is painful for the person. So it's probably a big deal already for that person to go out and have these things on show. If you are kind of analysing that person, they're going to then analyse themselves. Does that make sense? As much as we try not to, we do kind of judge ourselves and rate ourselves a little bit against what other people say and what other people think and how other people behave around us, because that gives us a kind of vibe and it gives us something to go off and something that we read and absorb and take in. So just be aware that if you are doing that, that you are going to have an impact on that person, and it might have an impact on their day that's going to ruin their day or make them feel like they can't go out and have these things on show. I don't expect myself, and I don't expect anybody else, to be wearing jeans or long sleeves or thick layers to cover themselves up when it's really hot outside and you're sweating just walking from your house to your car, because you wouldn't expect that from somebody else. So just kind of be aware of that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with scars is it okay to go out with your scars on show? Obviously, my opinion on this is yes, it is okay to go out with these things on show, and you absolutely should not feel ashamed, you shouldn't feel embarrassed, you shouldn't feel like you have to hide yourself. We live with something and we deal with something, whether you have scars because you did something when you were younger, whether you have scars because you still deal with mental illness, whether you have scars because you are still currently a self-harmer. It doesn't matter that the person is living with something or has lived with something. It's caused the person to express themselves in a damaging way. It is in a damaging way. I accept that I am always going to be a self-harmer, but that doesn't make it okay that I'm always going to be a self-harmer. It's just that's a kind of fact of my reality. So it's just about having that kind of sensitivity. We are trying to educate people that these things exist, and in doing that we're trying to make people feel like it's okay to struggle. It is okay to be in a situation where all you feel like the only thing you feel you can do is something damaging to yourself. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do that, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that either. I'm just saying that it is a thing, and that people shouldn't be ashamed that that's a thing, and people shouldn't be feeling like they have to hide that thing about themselves. Because as we know, awareness and education is the key to understanding, and then that's the key to help for you to help yourself, for you to help other people, for friends and family to know how to support you, and just for people to be a lot more considerate about the things that we are surrounded by and the issues of our society, things that people struggle with in their daily lives. What else is there to say about scars? I know that last year I felt very conscious about going out with fresh wounds on show. I have a few different mental health groups that I'm in, and I kind of see this pop up a lot as a topic of discussion, of somebody posting to say, is it okay for me to go out in this, or what are your thoughts on going out in this when you have visible damage to your body that is clearly self-impacted. And it is always quite a split opinion. People are saying that they wouldn't feel it's appropriate in case they trigger somebody else, which of course I understand. But then you get other people saying that they're not going to hide themselves and they're not going to unnecessarily cover up to kind of protect somebody else, because why should they? And I think I kind of agree with that. It's all down to personal preference and what you feel comfortable with. But that's the important thing here, that we're basing this on what you as an individual feel comfortable with and not how other people have made you feel, because it is about looking after yourself and feeling comfortable within yourself. That was the main thing that I wanted to touch upon, was that just be conscious of how you're making that person feel, because it does have an impact. Even if you might think your little glance or not so little glance doesn't do anything and that we don't notice, we definitely do notice. I literally counted people one after another between me and my partner. I think I stopped counting at 18 because I got bored, but I definitely notice, and I think that I kind of look out for it because I know that it's going to happen. So yeah, when you're out, just take a minute and be considerate, be self-aware. There's nothing wrong with taking in your environment, and that's essentially all you're doing. There's nothing wrong in looking, and there's nothing wrong in being curious about things. But if you do want to know, and if it's something, say a friend that you've never seen this before, you've not been exposed to, and you are curious about it, don't stand and stare, just ask. Because at least that way you've actually approached the person about it, and you never know, that might open up a window for you to have a conversation about it. I know for me personally, if I get asked, then I will gladly speak about my experiences and my own journey with mental health, and kind of how that has translated onto my body and maybe the people around me, and all these different things that it does have an effect on. It opens the door for conversation. You never know what beneficial thing could come from that. You're not going to really offend anyone by saying, do you mind me asking you why you have those? It is okay to ask, and it is okay to talk about, it shouldn't be as taboo as it is. Be conscious of how we're making other people feel. Okay, so that is it. That is the end of my rambling. Let me know what you think. I'm terrible with lighting. I have a ring lamp that I haven't actually properly used yet, and I just turned up the lamp over there in front of me, and now I have these lights behind me. And I look at myself and I don't actually know if this is right. Is it meant to be this light? Is it too much? Is it too dark? What do I do? And any thoughts on what I've spoken about today, or about my lighting, or about my cute little new kind of painted cubby hole behind me, I want to hear it all. If you hate what I've spoken about, or if you love what I've spoken about, that's fine. You can tell me, or actually, you can tell me if you don't like it, but don't be a bitch. If you have anything nice to say, probably just scroll on somewhere else. And I will see you in my next video. Take care, everyone.